Welcome back, welcome back. Welcome back, guys, to another that's kind of creepy storytelling. It's been a while. It's been a minute, and I miss you guys. And I think I gained like 25 subscribers since my last video, and I just want to thank you so much. Like, you have no idea. Every time I go on my channel, I see one more subscriber and one more subscriber, and I love that I can create content that you guys feel like it's worthy of subscribing to. Like, I love you guys. I just need to make some iced coffee because it's still early and I need my brain to function, and before that happens, I have to make coffee. All the ice in our Starbucks cup. I save these because I think it's so aesthetically pleasing when you're pouring the coffee and everything. Let's get to it. So the coffee I'm using is California Farms medium roast. This is really good. I want to try the California Farms blonde roast, but I just don't know what that tastes like. But I am going to try it. But then I mix so satisfying to me. Just almond milk. Okay, you guys, this is my favorite part. When the milk meets the coffee, it just looks so pretty. Okay, then I add that. This is just for extra creaminess, and this is stuff that I do not I hope I have enough room. I have to learn how to measure better. I'm not measuring any, I'm just pouring up, okay? Salted caramel and vanilla. Oh god, it's gonna overflow. Okay, there we go. I could call it a day with this. I really wanted to be rambling about a Netflix original movie called The Occupant. Like I said, I got a request from one of my lovely subscribers. Hey AH, I hope you're doing well, and I hope you see this video. This video is dedicated to you. So, it's a Netflix original. It came out March 25th of 2020, and March 25th is my birthday. So, it's basically about unemployed marketing ad executive, and you see him struggling, trying to find a job and everything in the beginning. He has a lifestyle that he can no longer afford for him, his wife and his son, and he's just been struggling financially. So he was forced to move his family into a different part of town. The movie took place in Barcelona, it is Spanish, and while he continued to look for jobs. So with no luck, he was not having any success at all. Sorry about the car outside, guys. That car is loud. He wasn't having any success at all. And one day he discovered that he still had the keys to his old apartment. And I think he just wanted to go back to something that was familiar to him and go back to something that showed that he was successful, where he had his family and where he was happy. So he drove to the building that they used to live in, and he just started to look up at the new tenants that lived there. And they were similar to his family because it was a husband, a wife, and they had a daughter instead of a son, but it was similar to his family. He started visiting the building during the day and waiting for the family to leave so that he could use his old keys to get into their apartment, and he was making himself comfortable in that home. He was just trying to figure out, I don't really think he had a plan at the time, but he just wanted to find out more about this family. wife and daughter had to go to the hospital. They were all banged up and bruised. So Javier took this information and started going to the AA meetings so that he could get closer to this lieutenant that lives there. Excuse me, guys. So he could get closer and find out more information about this lieutenant. Javier volunteered to stand up and tell his story. He basically made up this whole elaborate story about having a wife and a daughter and, you know, being in a car accident just so he could relate to Tomas. Javier ended up inviting Tomas out for coffee one day, and Tomas was opening up to Javier, and Tomas had no idea that Javier was stalking his family. He just thinking that he's a new guy in the AA meeting that needs help. So Tomas ended up becoming Javier's mentor and the sponsor for him. Basically take him under his wing and just support him. Okay, I'm back. Sorry. And I moved. I had to come into my bedroom because it's brighter in here. As I was saying, Tomas invited Javier to dinner to get to know his wife and to introduce him to his daughter. And I think while Javier was there, he was just taking it all in and just basically reminiscing of when he used to live there and how he just wanted his life back and how this family just seems to be perfect. So one day Javier decided to set Tomas up. He took his Mercedes-Benz and crashed it in the parking lot. He called Tomas and made up a story about how he was driving drunk again and he crashed his car, which is a lie. He just made this whole thing up. Tomas arrived to the scene. Javier had moved over to the passenger seat. Tomas got in the car and was trying to wrestle the liquor bottle out of Javier's hand. And Javier threw the liquor on Tomas so that he could smell like alcohol. So basically, Javier wanted Tomas's wife to believe that he started drinking again. But it wasn't true. He was just there to help him get out of a bind. Then he also asked Tomas if he could use his phone to call a towing company. And Tomas said sure. But what Javier really did was go into his emails and send himself an email from Tomas pretending to be him, saying, hey, can you come help me? I've been drinking again and I don't want my wife to find out. Please don't tell her. Basically setting him up. So that happened, and then I think a few days later, the wife, no, actually it wasn't a few days later, I think it was the same night, Tomas went home, he returned to his wife, and she was like, oh, you're coming in late, like what's going on? And she smelled the liquor on him, and she's like, I'm not going through this again. You already put your daughter and my life in danger. I'm not going back down this road with you. So that's when Tomas told her that, you know, he went to Javier. Javier crashed his car because he was drinking and everything like that. And Javier asked him not to say anything. So that was a whole argument between Tomas and his wife. And this whole time, while Javier is coming up with plans to destroy this guy's life and take his life over, I felt like he was just distancing himself from his own family. Like throughout this whole movie, I was just thinking like, well, what's going on with Javier's wife? What's going on with his son and everything? He just kind of just forgot about them, and they started to dissipate as this movie was going on. There was a subplot thrown into this movie that was very dark and disturbing. The whole movie is dark, but this particular part was very disturbing, and they threw that in there because I think they wanted the audience to see how far Javier his plan and the things that he was willing to do to get his life back. Moving along. So, going back to Tomas now and his wife, she thought he started drinking again and whatever. Tomas's wife called Javier and asked him if he could meet up with her at a cafe. Once they were there, she expressed her concern to Javier about him and her husband, Tomas, continuing their friendship. She also informed Javier that she was aware of the little incident that had taken place a few nights ago, with him drinking and driving and crashing his car, almost dying. A story that he made up, by the way. And being the manipulative, deceitful person that Javier is or was, showed Tomas's wife the email that he sent to himself from Tomas's phone saying, "Hey, can you come down and help me? I started drinking again and I don't want my wife to know. Can you please come down and basically cover up for me and don't tell my wife?" Well, of course, Tomas's wife was very shocked and very upset, furious even, that this had happened, because now she's thinking that Tomas had relapsed and started drinking again and is back to lying again. That night, she kicked Tomas out of the house, and Tomas is very oblivious and blindfolded of what's going on. He called Javier, and of course Javier didn't answer, and basically left a message saying, "What did you tell my wife? Why did you lie to her? Why did you tell her that I was drinking and that I called you down to help me when I came down there to help you?" The next day, Javier showed up at Tomas's job and in front of everyone basically told Tomas to his face, lying of course, that he was delusional and he needs to stop lying because he's drinking, and he called him to come down there to save him. At this moment, I think Tomas kind of lost it because he couldn't believe what was going on. He had been struggling and fighting and working so hard to kick this habit, and him being a good Samaritan, thinking that he's helping someone, inviting this guy to his home, introducing him to his daughter and his wife, and this guy basically betrayed him and deceived him and is basically destroying his life. So he lost it and basically punched Javier out. Well, not really punched him out, but he punched him hard enough to fall back, and he was bruised up. He was pretty banged up. So Javier got up like the sadistic sociopath that he is and started laughing with blood oozing out of his mouth. The first thing he did was run back to Tomas's wife and tell her that he believes that Tomas is dangerous and that he's drinking and that he beat him up for no reason. He also gave the wife some pepper spray that was laced with peanut oil. She didn't know that it had peanut oil in it. She's just thinking it's pepper spray. The reason why he laced it is because Tomas had told him before that he was allergic to peanuts, and even one peanut would kill him. So basically at this point now, Javier has advanced his plan to basically killing Tomas and taking over his whole life. To me, this is like identity theft times 1,000 to the 1,000th%, if you ask me. So now he just needed to piss Tomas off enough so that his wife could spray him with this pepper spray and kill him. So what he did next was invite the wife and the daughter out to a gymnastic practice because, you know, the daughter, she was into gymnastics. And while they were there, they took a picture like a happy family. And the first person Javier sent this picture to was Tomas. So he got this poor man kicked out of his home. He done lied to the wife, manipulated her, having the wife thinking that he's dangerous and that he relapsed and is now back to drinking alcohol. And now he's moving in on his family and they're going out and they're just so happy and whatever. This really, really, really ticked Tomas off. Unfortunately, Tomas did start drinking again, and in his belligerent, inebriated state, he went to his home, banged on the door. The wife opened, seeing the state that he was in, and guess what? Sprayed him with the peanut oil lace pepper spray. That was it for him. He started holding his throat. He couldn't breathe. She didn't know what was going on. She's just thinking that it's pepper spray. The first person she called was Javier, and he wasn't too far behind. He was right downstairs staring up at the window like the creep that he is. He ran in the house, told her to go into the room to comfort her daughter, and closed the door. Tomas was on the floor, fighting for his life, fighting to breathe. And he just opened his eyes and stared at Javier hovering over his dying body. Javier got on his hands and knees and whispered to him that he did not appreciate the life that he had, the job, the wife, the daughter, that he didn't appreciate it, and that now he's going to take over. And he covered Tomas's mouth and nose and finished the job. Fast forward, I guess Javier and the wife got married because she ended up getting Javier a job at her dad's company, where he was the CEO, the president, I don't know, but he was one of the higher ups, and he started making more money than he ever had before, even at the peak of his success. So his plan worked. He killed the husband. He got the good paying job. He got the beautiful wife and the athletic and physically fit kid. Now remember, Javier had a family of his own. He had his own wife and a son that he wasn't too proud of because his son was being picked on for being a little bit on the chubbier side. And you know that wasn't good enough for him. So instead of working with his son and helping his son work out and lose weight, he ended up just throwing them away. But anyways, the wife was in the background this whole time. She got her little detective hat and put it on. She found the peanut oil bottle in the trash can. She followed Javier one night when he said he was going to classes that he hadn't been going to. And one day she seen a news broadcast of a man that had died because he was allergic to peanuts, and his wife sprayed him with pepper spray that was laced with peanut oil. So she put two and two together and realized that this is what Javier had been up to the whole time. One day she showed up at Javier's new high-paying, prestigious job and told him that she knew everything that he had done. She found the peanut oil. She's taking the evidence to the police station and ratting him out. But Javier, you know, he's a master manipulator, a deceiver, sociopath, no remorse for anything. He didn't break a sweat. He said, you know what, go ahead, but that apartment that you and my son are still living in is in my name. I will sell that and you will be out on the street, and I will use that money to get me the best lawyer I could find. And then if that doesn't work, tax fund and get me an even better lawyer. So I guess Javier's wife felt like it wasn't worth it. And she basically just walked out of there feeling defeated and just went on about her life. And Javier went on about his. He ended up moving his new family into an even bigger, more beautiful home. And I guess they just lived happily ever after. This ending pissed off a lot of people. It didn't really piss me off. I was just like, wow, the bad guy won. But we see that a lot in just politics, how the bad guy can win. So I wasn't really pissed off at the ending, but I think it was a really, really good movie, a really good watch. And if you've seen it, then, leave your comments below of what you thought about the movie. And if you haven't, I know I gave a lot away, but you can still go watch it and come up with your own opinion on it. I think I've been rambling long enough and I gotta go, guys. If you made it to the end of this video, you a real one. And I'm happy that I made it to the end of this video, because you have no idea. None. You really have no idea. But I will see you